Trying to sneak in my lunch. It's not going to work. Hey, so there's going to be no one on the stream here for a while as I'm just starting things up. But I can always count on Elwin. Show up right away. But today I actually said I was going to do AskADev, get an answer. I may do a little of that at the end, but I want to do just some quick playthrough stuff. Again, this is trying to watch other people's streams and also play the game myself from the start, but I realize there's a lot of things we do poorly. And I call this out. I mention all the time that our new user experience is dreadful. I went through and made some notes this morning for some small improvements we will probably make over time. But it's really tough to the point of trying to improve that feel. It's also, if you ask 10 different people, you'll get 10 different answers, and they're probably all right, but different people, having different feelings on things. It's tough to say. But today I was going to do the You're Someone New. Here's the video for you to watch to get started. Shroud of the Avatar is a crowd-funded project. We kickstarted back in, I think, 2013 or something like that. And we've been doing open development, as in we publish the game monthly. We just got something out there really quick within a few months and publish the game monthly and just keep updating it every month. Now, 95 releases later, we are still going and still making the game more awesome. So this will probably be boring, but you will get the peanut gallery out there. Be boring for players who know everything about the game, which there's a lot of players who know way more about the game than I do. But this may be, they may get to be the peanut gallery here and tell me how wrong I am about certain things, but we will try. There may be singing, I'm not sure. But if you are not already a player of Shroud of the Avatar, all you gotta do is go to shroudoftheavatar.com. Go over here to this click play for free button. It'll take you here. You can download the client. If you're going to sign up, there's actually a new promotion right now that is geared towards New World people who found that they tried New World and it just didn't work out for them. It wasn't their cup of tea. I'm talking to another couple of other studios about doing the same thing for their game, with them being on board with it. And us doing the similar type stuff for them, or letting them do similar type stuff for us. So cooperative, I've been trying to push more cooperative type stuff. And there's actually a few people now who are at least back in the talking phase of they're willing to talk about it. So hopefully we'll have some of these similar type things where you can have a sign up page like this one, where if you just sign up through this link that the other game may give you or promote on their website or in their emails, they'll take you and you'll get your own promotion that'll look something like this. This one I set up for New World. I know this will shock you. They did not want to cooperate and cross promote. Weird, huh? But it'll give you start you off with a little piratey thing. Again, I think there's a lot of outrage on that, but if you go read the post I made like a Twitter post that is literally like, if you have a friend who already quit New World, feel free to send them to Shroud. And I know some people get outraged, but anyways. Yes, I know that, eHondas. Let's see if I can delete your post there saying that. That's actually will be fixed in a patch coming up here shortly, hopefully later today. Yes, there's a way to repackage that. Oh, the hat can't be packaged for trade. Oh, there's actually another thing. But yeah, the hat will be packaged. So the hat is actually one that's in the store. These are all items that are just from the store. We look back on when we've done past promotions. We've done a few of the like Alienware and some of those others. And we give kind of like a $20 value to coming in through somebody else's game. And the hat, I think the hat plus the Raven plus the basket hilt sword or things like it was like around $20-ish, $ish type stuff to give you all that. And then we threw in a experience book as well. We don't sell those books because that would be pay to win. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, the meta fun problems, and I'm not here to bash New World. Again, that's I've got friends who work on New World. It's just a game. It did not catch a lot of people, and as I try to read, there's a million different opinions out there as why, but a lot of it seems to be, I'm sure a lot of it, like if a Shroud the Avatar person went there, they'd probably wonder what all the hype was because, it was really a lot of PvP stuff that didn't appeal to them in some way or another. But that said, that is something that will be a focus for me from now until the end of the year. That'll be one of my 3 focuses. We just had our planning meeting with the team. But PvP will be one of the things I'm focusing on, is trying to get some balance, trying to get things. We're actually going to be doing some rapid iteration type stuff to get some improvements in there. We're also going to be talking about factions and adding factions into the game. I think I mentioned that yesterday. And whether or not, it's just going to be a chaos virtue faction, something as simple as that, or if it's going to be more. We've actually got factions that were planned for episode 2. So we may use some of that. But anyways. I'm looking. Yeah. Bridge twirl factions like the factions we had in UO. Maybe. Again, what that means is different to everybody if you ask the same questions, and probably a lot of it comes from games. But yeah, having factions where it's basically teams. But again, the adding the tech for factions is actually really easy. It's having the design that works for it and makes it feel like it's, doesn't just immediately break down and fall apart, is the bigger challenge for it. But anyways, if you use the link for the New World thing, and again, this, as I've said in the thing very clearly, if you've already tried and New World didn't work out for you, or already tried and quit, this is a link you can come here and just get some piratey stuff. Again, we're always looking for ways to expand our audience. Super challenging, and actually that's, as I mentioned, New World made it quite a bit tougher because they basically did an ad buy that is everything and paid all the streamer stuff. But come over here. I'm going to show you the step 1 to step 20 of getting going into the game. Again, you can install the client over here. We support, for those who don't know, we support native Windows, native Mac OS X, and Linux. We have people who play on all of them. The only thing I've heard is right now, if you are on the brand new M1 Mac OS, the M1 chip, something in the code translation, there's actually something that I'm trying to remember, but it makes some part of you float, like maybe your mount doesn't disappear at the right time, or it's something a little weird. But anyways, I know there's one bug with the M1, but it's not a game-breaking bug. It's actually pretty minor. But even that works and runs pretty well with the code translation, for those who don't know about that system. Also, yes, Elwin is correct there. So I will be the first one to talk about the negatives on our game. One of them is we are really crappy on memory. That is one of those things we fought with for a while, and we felt the fighting was that everybody would basically have 16 gigs of memory in the future, and that we didn't want to try and keep fighting that battle of pushing down memory and keeping it running. You can run on 8 gigs if you have an SSD. You may not have a great time. If you have an SSD, you get pretty good swapping, and you'll be able to swap, handle things, and it'll be okay if you aren't running much else. So you can run it on 8 gigs. I have not verified that lately, but I believe it is. Yeah, SSDs are highly recommended no matter what. There's a lot of data. The install of the game, I think you need about 20 gigs to install it, but that's partially because you got to get about, the actual installer's about 11 gigs, and then it's got to unzip. So actually, I think maybe you need 27 gigs is the current to install it. Now, some of that can be deleted immediately after you install it, and it'll only take up, but you do need 64-bit OS. Graphics cards. This is another one of those where officially it can run on, I think it'll even run on integrated chips, Intel 500s or whatever. But you probably want to have a fairly modern, a video card with at least 2 gigs of RAM. Hopefully a 980 or better, NVIDIA, just for, a bare minimum. I'm going to be running today at 1080p, 1920 by 1080. I run a setup that has 4 monitors on it, 2 30 inches and 2 24 inches, so I got a lot of extra drag on my system. Speaking of which, I'm actually running the editor right now too, so let me close that down. But it runs pretty well. I'm using a NVIDIA 2060, and I am on a, which is a 6 gig last gen, like kind of middle of the pack performance in terms of NVIDIA card. Of course, now if you talk about it, any card out there is crazy expensive in terms of just everything. All the video cards are crazy expensive for, one, the chip shortage going on right now, and then 2, it's still cryptocurrency madness out there and then buying up all the cards. So let's see. Virus, can you increase viewing distance? So I'll get into some of that in just a second. Actually, I'll go through some settings because that's part of what I'm going to do here. But let's do the set up the account. I'll set up a new account here. I'm just going to make up a dummy account. I'll call it dummy. That's probably taken, don't you think? Dummy, demo. I'll do demo dummy. That sounds better. Demo dummy. And this will be demo at catnipgames.com. And I'll come up with some useless... Oh, here's the toughest part to get playing on the game. Is this little captcha down here? I get it about half the time. I think I got this one, though. This one's going to be easy. Bam! Yeah! So, once I have that, I've got my account set up. Bridgetrolls, game account on Windows 11? I believe so. I've seen some people in the... I've not tried it on Windows 11. I've just seen people in the logs. We log what OS you connect and play with. And I have seen people who are on Windows 11 playing the game. So I think it should be good. I haven't heard any specific bugs. But, and Elwin, don't be judging my CAPTCHA image. But anyways. What was that? Let's see. Once you got that, you should have the launcher. This is just the standard player. I'm not going to be playing in the GM version. You can run this launcher just so, again, as I'm going over all the newbies, all the new player stuff. There's 2 ways to play the game. You can actually install it through Steam. You can't buy anything through Steam, but you can get it through Steam and patch up through Steam. We have our own patcher. It generates, if you're on tight data limits, our own patcher generates a lot smaller packages. Steam works where any file that gets touched at all, Steam will push out a new copy of that file. That's how theirs works. We actually use a delta compression where we'll look within files, and if we can find common areas within the files, we will only push out those parts. So we build a lot smaller patches for stuff, because a lot of times, like, it may be a file and it gets touched of, like, the version number of this file changed, and Steam will push out the whole thing. We don't do that. Steam, I mean, if you already have Steam, it's a pretty clean installation. I'm just using the built-in player. But I will mention the built-in player. We have had a small number of people who try to do things on work stuff, and we actually use oh look, I've been seeding. We actually use a kind of a torrent system to distribute the game, where we just have a main computer that batches, handles everything, and then it gets pushed out to seeds, and then that's how you get the game installed over our patcher. Some people have offices that have banned anything that feels like, tastes like, looks like, smells like torrents. A little too over-restrictive in my opinion, since that's kind of just, lots of stuff uses it now. So you are correct there, Submarine Mike. I do not have my raffle going yet. Let me fix that. I will be doing some raffles today. Again, today's stream is I'll be talking about some of just kind of beginner player stuff, and also helping anybody who's new coming into the game. This video might be useful for you. For those who don't know, I'm Chris Spears. I am the head guy on the project. I never know what title to give myself, so I'm the guy who tries to make things happen, hopefully, and get yells at when somebody doesn't like what I do. Anything goes wrong. Let's see. Cryptomancer. Steam, yes, I will point out that if you are on unlimited bandwidth type situation, Steam pushes out their patches. They're bigger patches, but they come down really fast usually. They've got a lot of, I've got a big pipe. And yes, for those who don't know me, yes, I'm a fish person. We became fish people during the pandemic. This is a, if you're really a fish person, this tank behind me is our only big fish tank in the house. We have a lot of fish tanks. This one is the only tank with big fish in it. We've got a bunch of big fish tanks. We've got a couple of 150s. This is a 150 tall, and it's got, I think, 5 Severums, 3 Dojo Loaches, and a Waru, and 1 Earth Eater, and 1 Plecostomus. 2 angelfish as well. So this was supposed to be the pancakes and sausage tank, because everybody's either a flat, round fish, like these guys, or they're a long, thin fish in general. Giveaways. I'm gonna get those started. Hold on, reset, and we will be giving away something awesome. What's something awesome a new player would love? I will be giving away a how about a row lot plus house. That'll be the first one. I'll pick that when we get there. There we go. Hey, thank you for the sub. Why am I not seeing my subs on screen, I wonder? That's me. There's my... Oh, that's... I've got this stuff down too far. Is that it? Display capture? What's going on there? Oh, that's weird. Why am I not seeing... Ah, there is... That's my... Why is my event list not... There we go. Okay, now I'm getting it. There we go. Get up there. So yeah, thank you for Greneva, Flar, Inufit, and Duke Gregor Pendragon. Thank you for the sub, and the other guys for the follow there. Got a number of new follows. I like seeing that. And yes, again, I know some people thought it was somehow bad that I would suggest that people who quit New World come play Shroud, but it's basically doubled the number of new players we've been getting per day since I sent that out. Could be coincidence, but you know, it's long enough. It's hard to say. I can see how many come through that link, and quite a few have come through that link. So again, we want more people. I want to see more of those new follows, new people getting interested in the game. That's why we'd love. It's funny though, again, I'll stop ragging on them a bit, but it is one of those things I have to constantly question myself and try and understand what people are thinking, because we have, on one hand, we have a $1 trillion company that has a $500 million a year budget for this game, for the games division, several $100 million on the game. They've spent several million on ads, so we can't buy ads. They're paying streamers, professional streamers, constantly, and they're even giving away, anybody who's streaming the game, they have people go away and randomly give away $10,000 prizes that's sponsored by Amazon. That's the good way to get people. Making a tweet that says, if you didn't like this game, you should try ours. That's the bad way, apparently, by these. So, yeah, I'm still a little bitter. Sell it as Lost World. Oh, because people can't find it? It's lost? Oh, burn myself. Self-burn. Corlag, I know you were one of the ones who was criticizing me. Again, I did not say go steal other players. All I did was say if it didn't work out for you, come over here. So, oh, I saw it. I forgive you. I know deep down in your heart you still love us. But yeah, it is one of those weird things. It's hard to figure out what... I always feel like I'm tiptoeing around and stuff and trying to figure out how to approach getting new players into the game that feels safe and fair and whatever. But anyways, this is supposed to be for new players. I don't want to rag too much on that, stay too much on that. Let's see. So anyways, back up to the actual game here. Now that I got the other parts figured out. And actually, I'm going to shrink my picture. I'm not that good to look at. I know you wish you could see my fishies more, but we will jump in here. So I will point out in here just some options. I'm going to turn my volume up. This is the one thing. This is a clean install, but options do get saved locally. If you really care, you can go look at them in your registry. It's not very exciting, but just all the good stuff here. Quality level, I'm just going to play on very good. Best, just I think it extends the distance, the shadow distance a little bit, and improves reflections. I never really noticed reflections that much. I turn it down. Level of detail, this is one where somebody was saying view distance. If you increase the level of detail all the way out, that's the level of detail is when you like objects will pop or vanish. That's where they determines the distance at which they get cold for most things. So having a higher, pushing out your level of detail will increase the distance, your view distance. So I forget who was asking about that, but that will help. Brightness, I always keep mine up a little bit high. Saturation, a little high. Highlight strength, again, that's one for you. Field of view, again, this is all personal preference stuff. And I've just got settings down here, but again, feel free to mess with these if you want to. GPU occlusion, if you're CPU bound, not GPU bound, which a lot of people are in our game. In city scenes, especially player-owned towns that are highly decorated scenes, you'll tend to be CPU bound rather than GPU bound. Load time baking can improve that as well as GPU occlusion, so you can try both of those two things. Controls, I won't go over all that stuff, but let's just jump in and play. We're going to start a new player. This was a demo dummy. Is that right? So this is basically what a new player would be seeing. Bam. 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 You're going to read every word of that though, right? It's just boilerplate type stuff. It's not anything scary. Basically, it's the, if you do something crazy and stupid, we have the right to kick you out of our game. Can we get a sandstorm spell for Earth? Ooh, we've got, actually I mentioned we just had the player, and I'll be mixing in some new player talk, or old player talk on this stuff as well, just so you guys stay interested. I know you're really just here for the prizes. It's okay. Which you can do the raffle for if you want to jump in the prizes. But that's where actually we're adding some new creatures that I won't say too much about them, except that they, if the plan goes as expected, never does, it will be live in this next release, which is only a little over 2 weeks away. Can you believe it? Due to Thanksgiving, the poor planning of our founding fathers, they put Thanksgiving on the same day as our release, the last Thursday of a month. Poor planning, founding fathers. You should have been forward-looking. But anyway, so because of that, we move our release up a week during Thanksgiving, and then also usually in Christmas as well. So we have a 3-week release, which means we're already a couple days into that. So 2.5 weeks until the next one. But we should have 3 new creatures, which I signed myself up for a crazy amount of work. There's going to be 3 totally new visual creatures. It'll be of a certain type, but I will say I've already thrown out the idea of they kind of have somewhere in like a mummy-ish feel, like Mummy is in like the movie. I'm not sure why I'd say Mummy the movie is a theme. Kind of like either a deserty Egyptian feel to some type of like Mayan feel. And there's actually one of the things I've thrown on there is possibly having one of their attacks be a sandstorm. So we will see. Mummy as in mother. Let's see. So character creation. If you're new to the game here, and we will be, I've got, Damon and I are finally on the same page. For those who don't know, Damon is awesome. But we also, I'm on the easy end of the work for stuff that needs to happen to actually get skills live. And so I'm always like, yay, let's add 10 skills this release. And not so easy on the other side of things. So we are going to be getting Damon has committed to getting the Ankh done for this release. This is the life school pet that will basically be a totem-like thing. If you've played like World of Warcraft, or many games have this type thing. Basically, it'll be a summoned pet for life, except all the summoned pet is it looks like a glowing Ankh with some VFX around it, but you will be able to move wherever you want to be, cast it, it will appear there, and then you can run back, or you can just cast it around yourself. There'll be a couple of different versions of it, but it will be a summoned, as long as it's alive, it will give a buff to people who are nearby it. So that is actually going to happen this release. So let's see. I'll name myself, give myself a good name, Howdeet. Last name is optional, totally up to you. In terms of looking at stuff, lots of different options in terms of I usually go with a medium dark skin tone so that I'm harder to see, and then I make myself small. I don't know why, but I always do that in most games. Hair, kind of the same thing. Actually, I'm gonna go with red hair today. Oh, curly red hair. Hair is really tough in video games, guys. We do not claim to have anywhere near the best character creator out there. Get jealous now as I see Unreal is basically shipping a massive character creator that's like 10 times better than ours. I think we did, for how much time we had to invest on it, we did pretty well though. We've got a lot of, we use some different morph target stuff, and again, you can kind of get some different visuals, get the BDI. Again, some of the stuff is very subtle. Got to go with the, where's my iris size? There you go. Get some nose stuff going on there. All right, we're gonna call that good. But anyways, if you're a character, if you're like someone who loves designing stuff, there's plenty of stuff to tweak on here, but I'm not claiming it's the greatest. It's pretty good though. It's good enough. Can't really make an ugly avatar. That is one of the things, that is actually not the first time that's come up, and that is by design. And we used to let you make ugly avatars. I kind of wish we did too. I have the two changes I would make to our character creator that would be low-hanging fruit type things. Is one is have a randomize, so it'll go through and just randomize all those settings. So you can just sit there and click the randomize button. I've had that on my wish list for a long time. And then the other one is making it so we let you tweak things more to the extremes. A lot of those have much more extreme versions. Like if the slider didn't stop there, you'd be able to get it much further and, you know, make an even bigger nose. But we actually, at some point, I think this one is Star. I'm going to blame Star. By the way, I love Star. Star's awesome. Not ragging on Star. Star's amazing and made most of his decisions were the best ones. This is one I disagree with him on, that I wish we could let people make ugly characters. Again, purely me though. And I'm the guy that crams in half-finished skills, so you probably shouldn't take my advice. But that's what I would have done. Let's see. Here in the UI, again, we do. I feel our tutorial is probably our weakest thing. Probably cost us tons of users. Is people who play the tutorial and get done with it and go meh and quit. But here we are today in the tutorial. And hold on, I'm just messing with streaming crap. Randomize for sure, yeah. You know, because a lot of people come in and they just want to jump in game, but it'd be fun to have the randomize button, just sit there and click it over and over again. This is one I actually just this morning brought up the idea of, like, can we just let people skip the tutorial? Tell them the 3 things they need to know. The things, if you're an MMO player, the things you need to know for our game, and this is talking to, again, probably the audience out there. Base setup is WASD for key movement. WSAD for key movement. Space for jump, like 99.9% of other games. The key, you can use right click, mouse drag to look around. And the other one that I actually just created a bug on, which is there's one back here. This is one of the biggest improvements I made. Is in the original version of this, there's a dead horse right here. You can see the spot where the dead horse was. but I actually got a few neighbor friends to play the game, and I was like, play the game, tell me what things you would change, what can we do? And one of the things was, two people actually said, my kids cried because there was a dead horse. So I removed the dead horse, but just so you know, if you play the game, if you come through here, that spot right there, that's where there's a dead horse that I removed because it was making kids cry. If you're a new player to the game, again, WASD, you know that right click to do whatever. You can also both mouse buttons to move forward, mouse wheel in and out if you want to. A lot of that stuff can be assigned differently. Some of the mouse stuff, you start getting into a lot of different like weird context stuff, and the mouse stuff is really tough to get in there. The other one that we don't even teach you until later in the tutorial that you need to know is Z will take you in and out of combat mode. I think the idea is that you can come down here and say, hello, zombie, and then he'll attack you, and then you'll like pull out your bow and shoot him or whatever. But if you need to get out of combat, you know, you can hit Z to get out of combat. And we don't teach you that until after the gate down there. So, and again, you can use double click on things or E to loot. Z to draw, put away your weapon. You will not be able to make some changes while you're in combat mode. That's why knowing to put away your bow is kind of important. And you'll also see there'll be a green cursor for things you can interact with. So you can go around interacting with bodies and stuff. If you come over here to inventory, jumping ahead a little bit, here's your character tree. Bam. Look, show more. If you guys haven't played in a while, all this stuff is, you know, newer stuff that was added. We originally had very minimalistic interface, and we've slowly been trying to expand on that. But in here, I'm gonna whip out my. Oh, I know what I forgot. We have, because I signed up through the link that I showed earlier, and you can find on my Twitter feed, and if you get emails from us, you'll find an email. You can come up here to rewards. This will give you your monthly rewards, your login rewards. And in this case, it's going to give me my, bam, my pet. It's also going to give me my, can I not equip my sword from there? I don't know if I can. And a hat. And most importantly, experience. So that's, I guess, the other quick thing I should do here is, again, got my hat, got my pirate thing. This sword is not, if you're wondering, you know, why are you giving away a sword that's pay to win or whatever, this sword is junk. Thank you, Freedy Chase. It isn't junk. It's not a powerful sword, though. It's just like any sword you'd find out there. It's better than your beginner sword, though, is one of those things I didn't even realize. Is it's much better than your beginner sword. It's like 6 to 18 damage. That's kind of the base for a one-handed sword. So if you're a beginner and you got in through that, pull it out, because it'll get you through the tutorial quicker and into the game, which is what really matters. The experience, you saw I got experience. Again, we don't sell those books. I only give them away with that bundle, and it's not tradable. Actually, that wasn't a book. That was just a bundle of experience. But if you come over here, you'll see, here's your skill tree. I got there through the K key to bring up skills. And this is where you can look at all the different skills that you could learn and see all the different stuff. These are set up in trees where you just have to get them to usually to 10 or 20 or 40 to advance to the next one. But the important thing I want to show you down here is I used that thing, got that experience from the sign up, and now I started with 500,000 extra pooled experience. Now that's not experience, but that's actually experience that matters even more, because we are a use-based system, kind of like an Ultima Online or many other games. Not that many other games, I guess. But unlike other games, we are a use system where you earn experience. When you earn experience, it goes into your pool. When you use a skill, it spins it on. This is because so many of us hated the Ultima Online thing of like day one is, you know, go set yourself in front of a training dummy and put a stack of pennies on a key and level up skills to get to 80. Not very compelling. So making it so you actually have to adventure, you earn the experience, and then after you earn the experience, then you spend it. Just for some other pro tips on that stuff, the bigger your pool is, the quicker it will advance stuff as you use it. Another caution is you will see here is a skill. Like this one is set to training. If you're set to training, it'll, every time you use it, depending on if it's related to it, it'll pull experience out of it. Gray skills like this are passive skills, and they generally get trained up using any skill. Really, so it makes them easy to train up. They do train up slower. They use a lot, like strength and, you know, health. Those type things, they will be like 10 times as much as leveling a normal skill. They can drain your experience pool pretty darn quick. So if you're trying to focus on a certain build, it's important to try and not level stuff higher than you want to. To only train the stuff you want is basically the short version. Again, the demo, the tutorial here will take you in, and sorry if I'm giving you spoilers here, but you gotta come over here and get the letter. Yeah, take all. And you're gonna save this little girl. You gotta read that note. I know, I'm just trying to get you through this. If you're an experienced MMO player, you will want to see some of this stuff, but it's not that big. Our quest system. We do have a little bit of a different quest system. It's slowly over time morphed to be more standard, though. You can type stuff, or you can click things, or you can click stuff up in the text. There are sometimes some secret phrases you can say in there, not that many. But anyways, and this is just your standard escort her to safety quest. Which I'm gonna do. Come on out, little girl. Do. Again, gotta loot all the notes. That guy had a note. I'm not even gonna bother reading it. Here's one thing. Oh, look, there's a zombie over there. But I'm gonna fight this training dummy for a minute while I talk about some more stuff. Yeah. Did I put it in the wrong hand? Are you guys laughing at me right now because I put my sword in my left hand? All right, well, this is one where I gotta swap that out. Okay, now I can go after him. Yeah. But the reason I'm doing this right now is to level up my combat skill. My bladed combat skill is one of the most important things in terms of actually being effective in combat. If you're using a blade, if you're gonna use a bow, you can do that as well. Bows do use arrows, they do use ammo, you can run out. It's a little tedious carried around, it's not a big deal. Arrows are super cheap. Hey, Alexander Soda. I know you're an experienced guy and you'll probably be a little bored from this, but I will be giving away some prizes, and you guys are also welcome to make comments over there to help me out as a noob. I'm actually trying to do a playthrough to show a new player to the game what to expect, and also to have a little bit of an honest conversation about stuff like, our tutorial sucks. We know. We wish we could make it better. It's a lot of work to make it better. We're really big game in terms of systems, and like even with the tutorial we have, if we'd made it like 4 hours long, it would still only scratch the surface of some of the systems we have. I've been watching a guy play who's a new player, and just watching him and wanting to jump in over and over again and tell him, try this, try that, try for combat, change this. Glad you like music, but we've got an ABC system. You can actually use an ABC system and program your own music to play actual instrument stuff. So I guess while I'm doing this, I can show you as I use my skill, you can watch my pooled experience go down. And that's how our use-based system works, is as you use a skill, it'll pull experience out and you'll level up those things. So because I came in through the catch up, the new world bonus login thing, I've got a bigger pooled experience. I'll be able to level some stuff up to 80 if I wanted to. You'll see it go up pretty quick just because I do have a pretty good pool. It'll start slowing down. Our power system works in general that leveling stuff up is exponentially more expensive as you get higher. I forget what the numbers are, but it's somewhere in the range of like every 10 to 20 points it doubles in experience. Roughly. I'm sure somebody in chat will correct me. Yeah, Owsley, that's one of the things I've actually been saying for a while I wanted to do, and maybe I'll go do it in addition to this, is just make it so people start with a bigger experience. Because it's one of those things, it's like the Vegas thing of like, you always want to have people, giving people rewards, ding, 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 ding. You always want to have that type of stuff. And this is one of those things that give them all those extra rewards early on makes them feel like, yeah, I'm doing something awesome. And that's one of the easiest ways, especially for us, you know, where we can just give them some more experience in their pool and let them feel more powerful early on. Because really, we just want them to zoom through this stuff and get into the bigger game. But to learn these other skills, I do have to find someone to train me. So I think I'm probably getting to the point where I'm awesome. Yeah, awesome enough. So I'll probably stop that. Let me go try out, now that I'm awesome, let me take that zombie. Yeah, look, I'm tearing this dude up. Bam, 3 hits. Boom, got me a shield. That shield looks so heavy. You will not see this blue outline most places in the game if that turns you off. Also remember, in the video settings, you can actually set that highlight outline and make it less noticeable. That may not actually even work on the quest stuff, though. That may only work on mobs. Get out of the way, little girl. Get out of the way. Tell Charlotte yes or no. Yeah. Yes, follow me. Alright, I'm going to ignore all that stuff. Gravity knows the math. To be clear, I did write all the math and create all the spreadsheets for all the math. I do not remember all the math. Here's one of my other big turnoffs on this stuff. Loot that. I have no problems looting corpses, because that's how I roll. Here's one of my other big complaints. It's like, this just feels weird. I just wish it was just a closed gate or something like that. I mentioned that we have different opinions within the team, and it's not that big of a deal. The one thing I do wish we could change is this guy right here. Like, this guy looks like he's made like he's a plastic toy. Oh, that's nice. That was a nice emote he did. But yeah, I wish we want to change this dude up, just be a normal dude. It feels a little weird. Like zombies, and now we got a plastic mannequin talking to me. Again, I'm here to rag on our own and admit that we have lots of problems with things, or with our game. But I will also say that our game has insane amounts of depths and awesomeness to it. So, hoping you guys will watch this, listen to me, that this is not the fun part, that the fun part is the rest of the game. Let's see, hotbar job name. Oh, if I actually read the quest, you will find that he's going to want me to do this. Bam. Even though I don't use a bow. Gate is open. Take that, zombie. And also, if these creatures out here seem insanely easy, it's because Richard kept dying. True story. We had, for a while, we had them be normal zombies, and Richard kept doing playthroughs where he kept dying on the bridge in his playthroughs. So we actually kept like nerfing them and nerfing them and nerfing them and nerfing them until basically they're just like these pitiful zombies that could never have a chance of killing you. And let's see, I'm going to find the next one. I'll just let him attack me for a while. I bet Charlotte can kill these zombies. Come at me, bro. Oh, here's another one. Oh, stop. Oh, no. Oh, it won't let me turn off the auto attack. Okay, I'll just stand here with my back to the skeleton. Look, Charlotte's going to kill the skeleton for me. Good job, Charlotte. I'm not sure why you needed rescue. Rescue me. But yeah, these things all had to be nerfed way down because Richard was finding some way to die during the bridge. During this little section. Woo! Adventure level 3. Bom, bom, bom. Need to get some sword skills, then things will get awesome. And you can go explore around here. There's actually a number of little points of interest in this scene. It's a reasonably pretty scene. I would also say I hate our water. This water in particular is not good. Just the rough edge with the thing there. The water, you know, it's decent looking. It really needs some foam, something to pull it into the side there, but send me on my way. Later, Edvard. Rinaldi, yes, the easiest way to kill Richard is to put a creature that's challenging in the scene when he doesn't have his cheat codes on. That is the easiest way to kill Richard. That reminds me, while I'm doing the stream and I've got 80 or so people here, we are doing a stream this Friday. I need to start pimping. This is, for those who know, we used to do streams every Friday and then we stopped, and now we just do them kind of sometimes Fridays and always after the release. Well, last Friday was our release Friday stream. This Friday coming up is a special stream where we will be giving out some ONBEs to some of our, speaking of amazing community, we're going to be giving out ONBEs to some of our community members. We're going to have Richard and Star on the stream. So get your Richard questions ready. You can ask him if he really is so weak that he gets killed by zombies, or whatever other appropriate questions you feel would be good for him. I personally want to talk to him about, I haven't talked to him about pirate ship. I've only talked to him about business stuff since he's been out for the, it's not pirate ship, but he went on a ship searching for a hidden ship, or sunken ship. I didn't hear about it, but yeah. Sorry, just reading all the chat going on here. And yes, the rub, Cryptomancer is, sadly, is the first couple hours of gameplay are the least rewarding part of our game, honestly. There's some of it that's rewarding. I mean, you get leveling up your skills and seeing how that system works, but that's kind of any game. I just think we have our new user experience doesn't teach you some of the things we probably should be teaching you. It teaches you some things we probably, you know, don't need to teach. And it's just not inspiring, I think. I think it's just not as rewarding. Again, some of this is, it's tough. The devs on the team have played through, like, I've played through that probably 50 times. I'm not sure if I could do it with my eyes closed, but it would be close. Yeah, so again, I just want to make sure people know that's when we lose people on our project, it is, and that's, we constantly hear it is, I'm glad I stuck it out. I almost quit like in the first scene. And yeah, I get it. So that's, I just said that this is not me just ragging on the game for no reason. This is me making sure that players who are coming to try the game understand, we get it. That first scene is is not the best showing of the game. But again, you can get through it in a matter of minutes. I was trying to remember what the record was, but I actually found somebody who basically they'd found a pretty weak exploit that if you made a new character and ran through the new scene and got to a point and then deleted your character and made a new character and ran through the new scene and made a new point, that you could get some small extra experience rewards. But they were doing it, I was trying to remember it, 5 minutes or so and they can get through the scene. We fixed whatever that was, and it was a really small thing. Hold on, I'm going to take a bite of food. Nom, 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 nom. I'm sure you're all very curious. Today I am eating some coconut curry on brown rice. Mmm. So yummy. But anyways. So through the beginning scene, this first scene, I can tell you another thing we're working on, and this is for old players as well as new players. Dr. Hernbrand, that was called Isle of Storms. That was the island in the sky. But anyways, by the time you get done with this first scene, you'll really be like level, I think I'm probably level 20. I think the experience you get from like the first quest gets you up to about level 20. But by the time you get done with this first scene, you should be able to jump to like tier 3 scenes pretty quickly, tier 4, tier 5. And one of the things we're looking at right now is we've got There's about 24 Tier 2 scenes and 24 Tier 3 scenes that hardly anybody plays in because they're trivial by the time you get out of the new scene. So that's one of the things we're looking at doing, is taking some of those and continuing to improve them and making them more meaningful. We've done that a bit, but especially as we're adding some new creatures. We've got 3 different sets of creatures, I think, lined up over the next few months. That now that we're getting better at adding creatures, hopefully those are going to be getting in. Oh, and Shotglass 71, Richard and Star will be on the Friday stream this Friday, like 3 days from now, at 4 o'clock, and we'll probably go from 4 until 5:30 or so. We'll be doing prizes, of course, and we will also be doing some Q&A. We'll be doing some award stuff. I'm sure Richard and Star will give us updates on their crazy lives these days, and maybe we can get some updates on... I'm trying to think what other stuff Richard is working on. Richard can probably give us updates on the rings, that he still has some rings to make. I know he's made some, but I know he's got some more rings to make. Cedric Sky. Oh, I think you're the new person. I'd like to see different tiers, town sieges, so newer players can participate in that content solo. So that's... The sieges are one that's on the list. I've got a number of things on the list for sieges. One, right now, they're just kind of, they don't feel, you know, it's an interesting idea, but they don't feel that rewarding, because even if you win, you don't really win and stuff keeps going on. We want to make those, so switch those to be a different type of scene and make them so they come and go quicker. But yeah, making them so they're more friendly to other players, and possibly making them so they are... This is one that is, again, a super heated topic, is making them so they can't be bypassed for some scenes. So maybe for NPC, non-player town scenes, that they can't be bypassed. That gets into trouble. I think we really re-pulled those, because what we found is we had some NPC towns that were on the main quest line that would get sieges outside of them, and then like, I'm a new player and I can't get in to do my quest thing and I keep dying in this scene. So we made them so they could be skipped. But anyways, there's a lot of stuff that can be done to improve sieges. But yes, tuning for different levels of stuff is one of the important things. And again, I'm not going to do the reading everything to you here. I will let other players do that, or they can do it for themselves. Now we're kind of into a shared space here, so... Looks like somebody's already come through and wiped out all the barrels. I'm not going to talk to you. Oh, I do see something up there. Again, resource nodes, you'll see they'll usually have some type of slight glow or hint to them. Like here's a rock, you can see that's kind of almost glowing over there. And we do start you with all the tools you need to do things. They will break over time. You'll have to replace them. For existing players, I can tell you, let me see how the patch is going. Still a little time left on the patch. Looks like it's getting close within the hour, but there's going to be a patch coming out shortly. And I failed. But there'll be a patch coming out shortly that will actually cut, not this time down, but it'll cut all the other steps of crafting down, the processing steps. It's going to cut those times in half. That's one of those, just, again, this part feels like there's a reason for it. I wonder if that's somebody just coming on to troll me or an actual player. But this part feels like there's a reason to it. This is kind of the resource collection, but then adding in an artificial mid-step of time sync didn't feel like there's actually a good reason. So we didn't remove, I haven't removed it completely, but I'm going to be doing 2 things. One is for this release, I just cut the time in half from 12-second base to 6-second base, and then your bonuses will go on top of that. So it should make it significantly faster. But for the next release, I'm going to be looking at making the bonuses improve for the collection speed. That's one of those, they're on the old system where they're percentage stuff, and that kind of gets a little weird because sometimes things can break if you get bonuses over 100. As we just saw, that came off from granite blocks. As I was just saying, the new guy who I think is watching me, I think Cedric Sky, also a fish person. Actually, it sounded like his wife or girlfriend might have been a fish person. But like just all the things I wanted to tell him is stuff like, you know, in terms of depth that players don't even get a hint of early in the game. It's definitely not from a tutorial. Stuff like collecting granite blocks. Why would I collect granite blocks? Well, to build stuff, there's, you know, besides the crafting, one of the systems we have is our, you know, player-owned housing, non-instanced. But also, in addition to that, once you have a house, you can actually start building dungeons. You can craft dungeon entrances and dungeon rooms, and you can actually build out a dungeon like a big Lego block thing, and granite's the main thing you need for that. So then you can also, in addition to just building out those big rooms, you can travel around the world, find interesting rooms and dungeons, and many of them, not enough, although that is what Ravlox is supposed to be working on and has been working on. But turning more of those into rooms that you can find the blueprints for, take the blueprints, get the needed granite, craft that into a room, and add that dungeon room from a dungeon you've been in to your own dungeon. And you can build out your own dungeon. Then you can go and like farm, you know, creatures to get essences from them, take those essences and build them into totems. And then you can use those totems in your dungeon to actually add creatures with loot and experience to your own dungeons. So, hold on, I'm going to take another bite of food now. Professional streamer here. Let's see. I have been going for an hour now, and I've not given away a prize. I am horrible. I'm going to give away a prize, and I'm going to put up a big prize for the end just to tease you guys into staying. Like something like, maybe I'll even do like a village lot plus a house to go on it. A cool house, not a lame house. Cool house. Yeah, so do the raffle if you want to get in on the raffle. Bring in the raffle, giving you guys a few more seconds here. My name is Howdeet. Dude's got some wife problems. Painting? What painting? Well, tell me about Solus Bridge Outskirts. And again, I could go through and read all this stuff, but if you're actually not, if you haven't played the game, I want you to do that, and you can do that on your own. Man, this guy's getting emotional here. I'm just clicking through. This is one of those things you'll see that you don't know somebody's name, and once you talk to them once, then you'll know their name. Sometimes you have to ask their name. Can I help? Please talk to your husband. Already done. So, over here we'll see the adventure trainer. This is where you can come to buy some skills. Train me. I do have 100 gold. Let me see. I can buy. What do you guys think? I think I'm gonna go for the thrust. Bam. Now I am awesome. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do the drawing thing here. You guys ready? Oh my goodness, is there an actual player here? Kabam. Again, this is, I might be a little bit biased But I think our game does compare well to a lot of games out there. The one thing I will say, I mean, I try to be honest about the game. We know that it has the graphics in it a little bit dated. They're not horrible, you know, but graphics are a little bit dated compared to some of the newer offerings. We do have some rough edges, but in terms of feature depth and just coolness and community, I don't think there's many other games that compare to it. Again, I am biased. Oh, and that person was trying to flag me down. Again, I'm not trying to do all the quests here just because I'll leave that up to you. Oh, that's a merchant. You want to buy some of my junk? I've learned to perform flirt. We do have a large emote system. Again, as we go through all the millions of things we could be teaching you, we have a large emote system. You can actually teach other people emotes, and you can trade emotes with other people. Some of them are unique in that once you learn them, you can do them. No one else, like you can't teach anyone else. Some are learnable, where you can get it and you can teach it to somebody else. Some are one-time teach only. So we did this for some, there's a number of things, but like some of our bigger, earlier backers got special custom emotes that they know they can do, and they can teach other people to do it, but then those people can't teach them. Actually, one of the cooler ones on that is, not sure if people know who Shooter Jennings is. You should know who he is, but he is kind of one of those guys that in a large way is behind the scenes on a lot of stuff. But that is Waylon Jennings' son, and he's also a fan of the game and longtime supporter and friend of the team. He is an absolutely awesome dude. Actually, he was just on Saturday Night Live last week. He was on playing the piano for Brandy Carlisle. If you watched Saturday Night Live, I think not this week, not like a couple days ago, like 10 days ago, 11 days ago. But if you watch that episode, he was on there playing the piano for Brandy Carlisle. So he does a lot of like producing and executive stuff behind the scenes for those people, in addition to doing his own music stuff. So, but he has a very rare emote, which is to draw guns. He has like a shooter emote where like you grab like your guns like from his hips and then finger guns. So he's the only one who can teach that emote. But he's taught some people in game. He's got some, you know, there's a handful of people that he's taught that emote, that they're the only ones who know how to do it. Let's see, is there a comment at the moment? I don't think there is. Yeah, the comment just left. Owsley, that is what the spider room is, what is actually working on. I actually created all the spiders and the spider totems and the spider essences last release and got those in. And Ravlox is working on hooking up the spider room this release, and hopefully is going to add some other things to use the spiders as well. So you can start leveling up, collecting spider essences and building spider totems, getting ready if you want to, and then you'll be able to spawn up the room in 2.5 weeks or less. Let's see. Nothing really to sell. I sell all this crap. Oh, I got banana bread. No way I'm selling you my banana bread. Again, if you're a new player, food is something that's important in the game, just as a Lord British game. That's one of the things he's always felt was important, is having consumables and food and all that type of stuff. So you can look over, yeah, so an hour. So I'm eating my banana bread. We actually have, again, is one of those things that like you'll scrape the surface and you'll see, oh, that system exists, but there's actually a pretty deep system behind food as well, where there's different, besides the, you know, hundreds of foods that can be crafted, there's actually a system behind it for how many foods you can have going at a time and how they take up slots. And again, this is stuff you never even need to see, but as you get further and further into the game, this is the type of stuff that you'll continue to discover, is like many different levels of complexity. What was that? I have no idea what that was. It looked like a tree shot into my camera. Did anybody else see that? Oh, someone cutting trees. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. 2-hour sales have ended, Bridge Troll. The Kodo sales and other sales, I'm going to turn off when I get off this stream. I should probably make an announcement about that. Hold on. 1 second here. In terms of if you're new to the game and you're wondering how this stuff works, you can go and filter on a lot of this stuff. You can select, set up your own channels, pull them out, set the font size. I keep my font up. I'm old eyes. Too cool to wear glasses, even though my 7-year-old wears glasses. Is not too cool. But I turn up my font size on it. You can pin them, do whatever stuff you want. We do also, again, in terms of talking about like depth that you won't even see until you're 50 hours into the game. There's a lot of Lua support. There's Lua support in there already for doing cool things. There's a lot more coming. This is actually what Devil Cult is working on right now. He did some amazing stuff, so you can actually do some full featured UI stuff with Lua. But anyways, you can have also catch different types of events in that and have outputs to your own channel and show that in there. But you can tune these up, you know, keep one that's just for global, one for your guild, whatever. Let's see what else. Somebody said mention the buffs. You can go up here and see your buffs on the icons up there, just giving you the little thing. You can see it has like a little, it's maybe hard to see, but it's got a little gray cooldown timer on it going away. Stillness, this is another one of those things. As long as you stand still, you'll get more buffs on for a few things. There goes a guy tightrope walking. That's nice. Over here, you'll see these are just showing skills that have leveled up recently. This is not all of them. It just like whatever the most recent stuff will get pushed down there. So you can see I just leveled up mining. Yay! Foraging, and the number over here to the side is how much you've leveled up this session. So that 52 is 52 points this session, because it's my first session. I just started playing. Doot 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 doot. Dun 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 dun. Again, million more things to talk about, but you can look up here and you can see your compass. Again, we started off the game. I think there's clear vision for the game, but multiple people had clear visions for the game. And some of the ideas just didn't kind of work out in the modern game world. So there was a much bigger focus on immersion early on. There wasn't even like compasses or anything like that. Definitely no quest type stuff with the sparklies or any of that type stuff. It was just you had to go around and talk to people. Very much old Ultima type stuff. But you can look up here. We have a compass. You can get stuff. Also, you can pull out your mini map and keep that going at all times. It will fade out. You can actually go over here and lock it, disable auto fade if you want to. I'll throw that out. But yeah, so getting around is not that tough. Most maps are in the game now. There's still a few scenes that do not have maps. We're getting several per release usually. But I think we got the top, 90% of the time where players spend their time now has maps, mini-map system. So there's also, I forget what it's called, someone in the chat can point it out, but there's also an online map that you can go to a website that's kind of like a Google map thing that has more information than our in-game map has. In terms of combat stuff, I forget, have I learned? Nope, I still haven't unlocked free attack. There's a lot of stuff in combat. We kind of dumb things down early on. Again, it's a question I still have, is should we be dumbing it down as much as we did? But you can, and once you unlock the things, there's a lot of different stuff you can do in terms of having a combat deck, in terms of having a charged attack versus auto attack. Yeah. There's lots of different stuff in there. In terms of the bar down here, this is one of those things also that I think a lot of people don't even realize until they've been playing for 20 hours. It's like, this is just kind of simple bar. You can have that. Well, you can actually go and create different sets if you're not in combat. Where you can create different sets of skills and also then bind gear to it. So you can, and again, we don't limit anything you can do in terms of leveling up. You aren't limited to like, here's the 8 skills you can get. You can level any number of skills, because the limiting factor is not how many skills. That's not the thing. If you level 100 skills to 100, that doesn't make you more powerful than someone who leveled 20 skills to 100, because you're limited to what things you can actually fit on your bar. You can set up multiple decks and try swapping between them, but that gets to be chaotic. And swapping decks, you can do in combat. You can have a main deck and an alternate deck, but swapping decks actually takes off a big chunk of focus. How much focus and how long it takes to swap depends on how many different items are in that gear set. Now, this is another one of those things where we had a plan, and over time, player feedback evolved and evolved and evolved. And that's one of the advantages, one of the good things about developing in front of players, doing an open development model instead of doing what many other games do, which is go in a locked room for 7 years or whatever, and then jump out and go, ta-da, here's our game. But this is one of the things that evolved out of that. And then one of the other things that evolved is just kind of players, we had created a deck system so you can bind gear to whatever. Well, players were, of course, demanding, 3 decks is not enough, 6 decks is not enough, 12 is not enough, 24 is not enough. Now you can get 48 decks. Everyone can get 24 if you're a rewards member program. You can get 48. Again, that's not more power, that's just more convenience. And if you're saying, why would anyone need 48 builds? Well, because some of it is because the people don't use it just for swapping out skills. They have here's my pirate outfit where I'm going to put on my pirate clothes. And then here's my rich noble outfit. And then here's my beggar outfit. And here's my Halloween outfit. And here's my dance. And they use that, they bind them to decks so that they can swap into a different set of clothing. Yes, as Owsley says, 3 fishing decks. Party deck, Flash and GF, yeah. All that. So, again, it sounds like we at least have a couple people in here who don't know the game. There's an insane amount of depth, and players have been heavily involved in changing the game as we've listened to the players. And just like stuff like, today, as I'll get through, I'm guaranteeing you something from that'll come out of the stream today. It'll spark some idea or some mention of something. We'll bring it up. Let's see. Oh, Biomechas. That's the other one I've had on my list forever. Is making it so you can swap deck, move a deck up or move it down. Hold on, I'm going to take another bite of food. Sorry. I know that's horrible streaming. But the other thing, while I'm looking at this deck, as you can see down here, some skills are locked, some are not. If you unlock a deck, this is, again, it feels just like a normal combat bar that you'd see in any game. That you can, except you can drag your own, whatever skills you want to down to it. But this one is different in that if you choose to, there's a whole nother dynamic style of play where rather than the skills being locked where they just sit there, they kind of get dealt out like cards. And so you can, rather than being stuck with the 10 skills, you can say like this first one I want to put, I need to go level up some skills before I can show you here. I can't actually show you. But you could put like 4 skills in this first one and it'll choose randomly from those and build out basically a deck. And you can actually have a deck mechanic. There's actually some advantages to it. There's some disadvantages as well, but there's some big advantages. And usually I think and the people in chat will probably chime in. I like rolling decks better than what I've been saying for the past 7 years. Lineman King, by the way. I like that phrase better. But anyways, usually what you'll find is they use a hybrid deck, which is they have some things that are locked, some things that are not locked, because you can get through more skills and you don't have to worry as much about cooldowns if you're using the unlocked ones. Again, there's more cooldown rules and ways to unlock more glyphs and all that stuff. But again, we've tried to make sure you don't see that until later in the game. But that is one of those mechanics in terms of making the game deeper. There's just so much depth to the game compared to many other games that are out there right now. So, did I ever do the drawing? I never did the drawing, did I? I'm doing the drawing now. And then I'm going to put up a big thing. Galantius. And what Dr. L just said there, there's some great tutorials there. I'm not even going to try to cover it, but there's tons of different strategies for it and different... Yes, you won something, Galantius. You typed raffle. I'm assuming you knew you were trying to win something. You just didn't know what you were trying to win. Do you have a character in game? If so, I'm going to be sending you a free deed. I will admit, it's the type of deed you can get just from playing the game. You can get row lot deeds and village lot deeds within like the first few hours of play. Actually, the village deed you get is a free reward to the main quest line. The other ones you can either buy, support us, or you can buy them from other players who have them as well. We, as much as possible, we make our premium stuff, including our premium currency, is tradable between players. As far as I know, we're the only ones that allow that. But our goal was to make it so, just, you know, observing how game economies work, you know, it's usually the whales that spend most of the money, you know, big spenders who don't mind spending money to support the game. They love that. But then we also give them the option, if they want to spend money and then let other people be able to trade some of those items to other people or sell their premium currency on their merchant or whatever, they can do that too and get in-game gold. So, okay, let me reset. I'm resetting. Oh, crud, and I forgot Galanteus. I'll get it. Galanteus Light. You're getting a row lot deed and a row house that will be a store premium row house. Let me go post that over. Also, if I seem like I'm bouncing off the walls, slightly ecstatic, that's because I just got news, some good news. Let me get this. Row, lot, and house. Okay, but I just got some good news, which is our data center was purchased by another company. Apparently this happens a lot. This is the second time it's happened to us in the past 3 years. But I was super worried because the new company was coming in and I was worried they were going to jack up our data center prices. And just got word that no, they're not. They're actually lowering our prices to stay in the data center. Woohoo! Not much, but, you know, $50 a month or something like that. So I'll take it just to not have to move the data center. We did have to do the data center move a while back, and it was not fun. Hold on, let me do next one. I'll do something big here for this last one. Let me see. What do we got here? I'm going to do like something awesome. Hopefully there's some new players out there. What about a town? Can I do a town? Player-owned town. Where's a town lot? Town. There we go. Ooh, that's 65. I'm doing it. You can't stop me. So we're going to do a town lot, and I'll just do this one at the end of the stream, which I don't know when that'll be. Bam. Now you can raffle. You all need to re-raffle. Raffle. Curry's so good. Nom 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 nom. But let's see. Again, I was hoping this would be a really fast, quick, and I'd get through and cover a lot of details for players. That did not happen. This will be a long, wordy one, but hopefully some new players will be able to see this at some point, or people can link to specific points in it. In case you're wondering how the game is supported, since we are completely free to play, do not have a monthly subscription required or an upfront purchase. We have a store, but this should show the type of stuff that we have in the store. My definition, I've been big on, like, we don't want to have pay to win stuff. And again, that's anytime you have stuff that can be purchased, that can be traded, which is something we wanted for economy, just going into game design stuff. Anytime you have something purchased that can be traded, you can immediately say that purchased for real dollars that can be traded to other players. You can immediately claim that we are pay to win, because I could go buy a Christmas tree and then sell it to that guy for gold. Or you can't stop that. I mean, that's not my definition of pay to win. So my definition of pay to win has always been pretty much the same and reasonable. And this is, I hope, what most reasonable people think of as pay to win as the rule. The rule is there's nothing I can buy in this shop as an experienced player that will give me an advantage over somebody else who has not spent money in our shop. if I'm fighting them, like say in PvP or whatever. There's also the other thing we have, which is, you know, besides the visual stuff, we have convenience stuff. Like you can buy, I think you can buy teleport scrolls, and you can buy that type of stuff, so you can save some time. So again, technically you could argue that we're pay to win because you could buy something that saves you some time, and with that time you could do some more adventuring and get some more experience. But that's, again, if you think that you being able to buy an ornate snowman family is pay to win, we are not the game for you. Again, these are lawn decos, but just in case you see our store and you see we have a lot of stuff in there. We have a lot of stuff because players want a lot of stuff. Obsidian potions are the closest thing to pay to win that we have. We actually looked at other games and, you know, asked for players like, what do you consider pay to win? Look at those things, and obsidian potions are the closest thing. Those are still primarily convenience. There's like a potion of capacity, which is like you can carry more. Again, convenience. There's potions of that help you learn skills faster. Now, take that, bandit. I'm botting. Quick, ban me. AFK botting. We have potions that help you learn faster, but those don't give you more experience. They actually apply the experience you already earned quicker. There's some to, I think they're probably the closest ones to pay to win maybe. Is there one that does, I think there's one that makes it so your gear lasts longer. So again, it's a really fine line, and I'm trying to find somebody who has the exact definition, but we don't have, like, you know, I went and looked at stuff like, do you consider Guild Wars pay to win? Well, in Guild Wars, you can buy a 2-hour buff that gives you plus 50% experience earning. But somehow players didn't consider that pay to win. But anyways, I've never considered this pay to win, and I try to make sure we toe that line pretty strictly. There's a few things that are probably a little close, but most stuff is just primarily snowman families and pirate swords. Now, I will say some of the stuff on like this pirate sword and pirate hat that you got here, that you'll get if you use that New World New Player bundle, is the sword is not anything special in terms of damage. It's better than your starter sword you have, so if you're playing new, I definitely recommend hooking it up. Same thing with the hat. You didn't have a hat to start with, so it's better than that. But we have a system in place where almost anything you have in the game, you can take and you can salvage it and break it down. If it's a cool visual thing like this, like a hat that you can buy in the Crown store, it doesn't have stats. You're not paying for a hat that's powerful. You're paying for a hat that looks different, and then you can take that, salvage it, get a pattern off of it, and apply that pattern to an actual hat that was crafted that then will make, you know, something with good stats that was created by crafters look cool as well. So pirate hat better than no hat, correct. I think it has 1. Let's see. 2, it provides 2 damage resist. So not a bad hat. So the best gear is player made, correct? There's going to be some stuff that you'll find that's semi-player made, and that's kind of, it's a really fuzzy line once you get up there. The best stuff is always player made. And talk about streams on learning crafting and all that type stuff. There's so many streams on people showing how to properly craft stuff. I know Coswald, I watched him for hours the other day, and he was doing some great stuff and demonstrating. They have like such higher standards. I'm more just like, let me get some resources and go throw some stuff down. Oh, cool, I got some buffs. I'll pick that one, that one, that one, and I'm done. You know, and he's doing the thing where he crafts like 20 of things to get the base stuff, and then he, you know, only for the ones he wants does he move to the next level. But anyways, huge crafting system. We do also have, there's artifacts that drop in game, but those can be taken and turned and improved and crafted, broken down as well. There's actually going to be, I think there's going to be some, I think Elgarion has plans for the kind of a new tier of artifact that'll be probably, again, not necessarily better, but different than what players can craft. But they're going to have some strict limits on them. Like, I think the big ones that he has, it'll probably feel more powerful than a player crafted one. Will have, they can't be repaired, so they're a use it and done type thing. So But anyways, yes, what they were saying, player-made gear is usually the best gear. And Galantia, I think that was the name. I will mail you your items right after the stream. And just to get people excited here, again, for those who join the stream as more people join in, the next one I'm giving away is a player-owned town lot. It's one of those super confusing things we have. It's tough coming up with names, people. Trying to come up with different names for city sizes and lot sizes. So in case you're new, there's row lot. Is just like basically a bunch of, it's the smallest size. I forget what it is, 10 by 20 meters or something like that. And then there's a village lot, and then town lot, city lot, keep, and then the biggest one is castle. But give some examples of town lots. You know, so you get stuff like that, or you can get a little keep. I still love the stone keep. I know everybody else hates it. I love it. Let's see. Eternal patterns can be bound. And then also something Elwin said is, yeah, castle lots are ginormous. Another one I will mention as I speak about a ginormous lot is the main thing. Go away. The main thing that Wizard Smoke is working on this release, he's one of the engineers on the project, is he's working to he's redoing some of our, what is that little sparkle? Why do I have a little sparkle on my crotch? Anyways, I'm easily distracted. That's okay. But Wizard Smoke is working on making it so when players get evicted, this has been something that makes people cry. As they get evicted, they put their house together or whatever, they go do something silly like go try and play another game for another month or something like that. They come back, find their house is evicted, and then that's kind of a game exiting moment for them, because it's like it takes a lot of time to decorate your house. We're not, you know, I think we have one of the cleaner decoration systems out there in terms of speed of decorating stuff, but a lot of these, you know, like a castle lot, I think can have like 20,000 or more items on it. Imagine carefully placing and decorating your castle lot with 20,000 items, and then somebody's coming to troll me. I think he's jumping. But anyways, and then you get evicted for whatever reason. You don't log in for 3 months, or I think it's a lot longer than that for castle lots, but you don't pay a rent or something like that. There are tax-free deeds out there too that you don't have to pay rent on. But then it all gets ejected, and then like now you got to redecorate your lot. It can be hours and hours of work to put stuff out. So again, for existing players, next release we should have the system in place where when you get evicted, whether it is the governor evicting you, or you getting evicted for not paying your rent, or you getting evicted for just being away from the game for too long, shame on you, then you get evicted to the magic movers. So basically your house will be intact and in magic movers, and when you come back you can just go straight from there, pick it up, put it back. So yeah, and this is also one of those things where if you're wondering like, well, how could that possibly happen, you know, what you got to remember that a lot of players have, you know, 3 accounts, 5 accounts, multiple accounts, and then some of these houses are in places where if you don't log in monthly, then you might get evicted, or if you don't log in like every 3 months, you might get evicted. So this is for those people who I've just had one of those happen recently. Is map marker is a map marker outside of window range. Oh, who's the smart one here? Not me. Looks like Cowboy Bill. Cowboy Bill's a smart one. Oh, come on, get on there, map. Aha! Look. Captain Kinsey. Are you here to just show off bugs? I saw you trying to sink into the ground up there. Okay, no, it was not the curry after all. I'm going to have another bite, though. Anyways, I shrink that guy back down. Yeah, you're not annoying at all, little bird. Again, in terms of stuff players can do that... Oh wait, one of these I need to do it so I can learn how to do the... Or I can do the charged attack. I'm going to have to go do something and actually pay attention to what I'm doing. But in terms of things you can actually learn, again, there's the massive skill system, which has insane levels of complexity. There's PvP, which actually I just started up. If somebody wants in on that group, let me know and I can private message you and get you an invite to that group. We're going to start doing play sessions probably, I'm not sure when, but probably starting as soon as tomorrow on QA, where we're going to be getting together for PvP, have PvP talk about things that need to be fixed, things that need to be balanced, and then also talk about some future looking stuff in terms of, well, rewards that are more meaningful in PvP, and also factions and the faction system we'd like to use. And again, I've already looked into implementing the faction system. I know what needs to happen. We just need to figure out the rules for it that will make it so it's not just a, you know, Team A Zerg Team B all the time, and it actually detracts from PvP. New sail up. When, yeah, these sales end in 23 hours. So yeah, so I guess it went up just a little while ago. But anyways, yeah, so looking at that stuff. And also, if you are new to the game, this is not just lip service. Like, 2/3 of features in this game came from this type of interaction with players, getting you guys involved and letting you guys help build the game. I know it sounds like I'm making you guys do all the work or something like that, but we count on the players to give us feedback and to help drive the game. As the developers, our job is as much, you know, we try to come up with a bunch of creative stuff ourselves too. But it's also to listen to you guys and try to filter out the good from the bad from you guys. Man, that bird is annoying. Get away, bird. Oh yeah, shout out to Devil Cult. Devil Cult is one of our community members, speaking of involving community. But yeah, shout out to Devil Cult. Yeah, this is worth it right here. Look at this. Look, it's a tiny, tiny bird thing. I only... there's another high-level person in here trolling me. But I found this. I was looking at cows earlier. It was very exciting. I had not used this much. And also for those who are longtime players, hopefully you're finding the new equipment gear for the pets cool. Gonna ignore Cowboy Bill and go over here and try to attack this archer who thought he was stealthed and was not. But anyways, we do actually pull a ton of stuff from you guys and we listen to you guys. So so much of the game, if there's something you don't like, talk to us about it. There's probably a good reason for it. If there's not, though, we can try and change it. For instance, earlier I was mentioning the timing for... Did I not just dismiss my Raven? But I was mentioning the time to process goods. That's one of those things that it's... The stuff I really hate is when we have a game mechanic that encourages silly stuff like botting type stuff, where if I can do it as a bot and we try to make it tedious, and that's the cost for it, because you try to come up with a cost for things, and some of it is you got to like go adventure and do stuff, and it's time. I mean, it all equates to time. When you start having costs in there that are a time thing but easily bottable, like processing or gathering water, that's the type of stuff that is just crummy and we need to improve, we need to remove. So that's the stuff I've been working since I've had more control over design stuff. That's one of those things I've been working on, trying to eliminate as much as possible. And so that one is for this next release, which is only in 2.5 weeks. Actually, for later today, I take that back. Will be a patch that will have that in there, so it'll cut that time in half. Hopefully, we can get it down to be smaller than that. Doot. Right click, see players are telling me how to play. Honda's follow far. There you go. Good bird. No, you're still too annoying, bird. Let's see, in terms of depth of stuff, again, the whole housing system is super deep, you know, for players who are more dedicated and also want to find more ways to help support the team, and like even more fun and control and, you know, being able to organize people. You can actually get a player-owned town. Those are not free, but you can, you know, again, it all goes to help to support our team. We're a small indie team. And every little bit helps. It's not like, you know, that type of stuff doesn't work. Like a player-owned town is the type of stuff that helps provide another week's worth of work for, you know, for a dev to get more stuff done. We appreciate it immensely. And also, that's another one of those things that is... not power. It is coolness and convenience and status and honestly fun. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do as a pot owner. Like you get to lay out the town and build the town yourself and figure out what decos and what type lots to put where. Reorganize stuff, set up like, you know, a lot of people set up arenas and play spaces. And occasionally we'll set up like mazes and hedge mazes and, you know, challenges and all those type things that are all super important. Okay, Kinsey's over here, right? There you are, Kinsey. Help. I'll calm them down. Perennial Coast Rumors. Again, I'm not going to do any quests other than clicking through them. But in terms of quests, there's actually, again, this is aimed at the people who are new here or visiting the stream. But there's we've got a deep quest system. There's a lot of quests. There's the main quest line is done on the main continent. There's some quests on the secondary continent. We're currently working through episode 2, far more slowly than we had originally intended, but I think that's actually going to be for the best. Kinsey, oh, here's the other. But anyway, so major quest lines, stories, long main quest. If you get a guide, I think you can do it, and you guys can probably tell me. Hold on, I'm reading. But you guys can probably tell me how long it takes. But you can do the main quest line. If you play it through a guide, don't do that. That's no fun. But you can do it in a couple hours, and you get a village lot at the end of that. If you actually go through and try to play it the right way and, you know, explore and figure it all out yourself, it's many hours. So Devs fix Unity crash screen 2018.4.30 C blah blah blah. What? I honestly have not seen as many crashes lately, A Night Owl. Our number of crashes from players has been down dramatically. That's one of the reasons I've been afraid to switch Unity versions, is we've had very low crash rate. But yeah, so our crash rate's been like super low in terms of that stuff. For those who have had crashes, again, it's one of those things that's tough. And I know it's not helpful for me to tell people this, but it's really, really tough for us to reproduce those crashes, because the crashes in this version of Unity, although rare, are almost always what appear to be thread racing crashes in the rendering pipeline. Which means it just so happens some people's computers are just the right speed between the CPU and the GPU that they get into a situation where they can reproduce it. and we can't reproduce it. And I've actually even had some people who've had crashes where, you know, I had a very similar machine and I still could go back and I still could not reproduce it. We do get some call stacks, but again, if there's actually a crash in our game, we are using Unity and we're using all managed code. So the crash is something that's actually happening in Unity that we won't be able to fix anyways. In case you're not aware of what Unity's money model is, again, there's a lot of good stuff about Unity. There's a lot of stuff that's not great. One of the most annoying things is for a big project like us, where the money model almost becomes a them trying to monetize on their the bugs in their engine, because they try to make a big chunk of their money off of selling us the right to access their code, and then also selling us the additional option to pay them even more money, you know, another $50,000 to reintegrate our fixes into the main engine line. So yeah, that's one of the things where Unity and Lumberyard have done it right, and Unity is not. Again, there's lots of good stuff on Unity. Oh, my dog's having a dream. Lots of good stuff on Unity, but that part of it is not something that's great. They have just the fact that they want to sell their source code instead of going open source like many of the others have. And yes, Owlsley, we break it, you fix it. We actually have had access to the code briefly, and we fixed 4 of their crashes just in a matter of a couple weeks, and they reintegrated them for us as a favor to us. But long term, it's tough, and we just, you know, we don't have the power to go and fix their own stuff for them. All right, I'm going to take one more bite here, and then I'm going to stream for a little bit more, talk about a few more things here. Again, trying to aim the stream at players who are just coming to the game, trying to understand why they should be in the game. Oh, I didn't actually talk to that dude, did I? Bancroft, name, Solus Bridge, undead, rumors, job. I don't want to buy your black or smithing stuff. Another person in here? Nope. This dude I need to talk to learn the free attack skill, right? Advanced techniques. Oh, I gotta go to Soul Town? How about deck building? Oh, Soul Town again? Aw, you nerd. Alright, sounds like I just need to leave here. Let's see, guys. What else should I be telling new players about in terms of things that make the game far more awesome than it appears in the early section of the game, early parts of the game? I think I've got a Fire Fist. I can load that guy up. Get over there. Earth Fist, again, lots of magic trees. There's also special specializations that you can specialize in certain trees. That is one of the things. Our skill tree is unlimited, and you can level everything as high as you want to. It just gets more and more expensive and less beneficial as you go up. One of the things that is limited to make you make a choice is there's specializations. You can have 2 specializations. So and yes, you will find that everybody has different ideas of what's important to them. Asmodee apparently thinks that PvP fishing is the most important aspect of Shroud. So we do have dev run fishing contest, and that there's always at least one fishing contest that takes place in a PvP scene. So there you go. Let's see, what other stuff do I have here? Death. Gonna be mastering some death touches. Oh, here's my little dog. Well, that's exciting in our household here. I only mention it because my dog is in the game. If you make a game, you get to put your dog in if you want to. Why is there a zombie out here? And why can't I hit him? This is not a good advertisement for my game. I'm going to leave that behind. Is he gonna get into town? Now I'm gonna go follow him and see what's up. He's on a wander path. It's rare now. Well, that's not the part I'm confused about. I'm confused about why I'm not able to hit him. Looks like I am leveling up my skill. Again, not a great advertisement. But I am curious. That's I've mentioned before many times on streams that I have trouble doing streams and starting and playthroughs because I always want to stop and fix everything as I go. I think I spent hours just right around here fixing spots where you drop and fall to your death or drop and get stuck in there. Last time I played through this. Oh, can I get you now, zombie? There we go. I wonder if it had something to do with him being on the bridge but not actually on the bridge. Visually on the bridge on my client, but he was actually underneath the bridge or something. Anyways, in terms of other stuff for players to look at, again, massive crafting system, massive skill system, tons of advancement, endless advancement, lots of different types of scenes, including some classic dungeon type stuff, some in-game type stuff, and lots more coming. That's, again, this release. We have a goal to get another big boss fight in. Wish us luck. And a whole new category of creature types. And let's see, player housing. Oh, there's scriptable NPCs. If you want to make your own quests, we've got most of the mechanics to do like a full quest system in there, but you've got NPCs that you can do. Hey, it's Galanteus Light. That's the guy that won, but I can't actually give him stuff here because I'm on my noob account in a non-GM client. But we've got most stuff in there. You can actually do your own scripted NPCs and write their own dialogue. This, along with the player dungeons and all the other stuff, lets you do some pretty advanced stuff. We actually just, this last release, has anyone tried out using the stuff? I know I've heard emotes are only working sometimes. Has anyone tried any of the other stuff? Oh, and Spinock, I know you need a Rise to 2.0. Maybe I'm signed up for a lot this release. This release, which, by the way, is only 7 more working days. Effectively only 7 more working days. We'll actually get a little bit more. But I've got to do, there's Castle Atos is going in. I didn't name it. Somebody made it for me. But there's a scene-wide buff that goes in there. It's actually not scene-wide. It is a buff. It's a blessing area, where the quality, the amount of the buff is based on how many players are in the scene at any given time. It's meant to be a encourage people to hang out there type place. Castle that would have been much better than Castle Atos. Oh, and I forgot the part I was talking about with my dog. But let me get the new boss fight. I've got PvP balance, and I'm going to do some more inky hookups. Oh, and I mentioned my dog because we're looking at getting another Italian Greyhound for Mojito. Mojito is my almost 12-year-old Italian Greyhound, although you can't tell because he still acts like a puppy and looks like a puppy. But we're going to be getting another Italian Greyhound if we can find one. I know someone in Shroud owns or runs or does Italian Greyhound adoption stuff. I think in Arkansas. I've been told that. But we may actually even talk to them. Oh, and I've missed a bunch of people following. What's the light spell bug? How can there be a bug in the light spell? I'm waiting, Line Man King. I need to hear what the light spell bug is. Come on. Oh, it goes away when zoning. Is that it? When you're in a group and someone casts it, it lags out. What? Is that true? They probably just mean it adds some CPU, some load, but it's not that much. Does the light not persist between scenes, though? That would be an actual bug if that were true. That's what I'm checking on right now. Tooltip. That shows it's persistent. It should persist between scenes. Alright, I'm going to quit paying attention to that now. Yeah, this map thing's really bothering me, now that you guys have pointed that out to me. Oh wait, here's the fix. Watch this. I can fix it. Fixed. Ah, they're still there. See how many more bugs I can show off during the stream. That doesn't look good up there. I think I'll go back over this way. Get over to the other path. Let's see. What other stuff should I be telling people about, guys? I should be doing AskADev questions and answering those. But again, yeah, if you're a new player, come give us a try. We're not perfect. We are not top-notch graphics. We are top-notch depth, skill, and absolutely best community in the world. Near, get away, wolf. Somewhere up here. Yeah, and there's top-notch fun. There's insane amounts of depth. That's, again, the other game, which I said I wouldn't mention again. But, again, the general reviews I heard from it were, it was fun for about 3 weeks, and then it quickly became tedious and repetitive, and frustrating. We've got players who've been playing our game for, I don't even know, 7 years, 8 years? Yes, the graphics on the other game, but yeah, we've had people in it since the start who are still here and still still with us and still adding quality and content. And yes, you can't run your own fishing contests in New World. Deck building action RPG aspect seems unique and is absolutely a big feature of the game. 2014, I think that's when it was, when we first went live. Yes, we do have better cupcakes than New World. Disagree? Fight me. Oh, the skeleton wants to fight me. He thinks that New World has better cupcakes. Oh, I should be leveling up these guys. Bam, take that, skeleton. To dust. But yeah, I think, again, I can keep going into all the different cool stuff. Any one of the things I've talked about, though, would deserve a stream of its own in terms of being able to craft your own adventures, role-playing, build your own dungeons, crafting in general. Could be months of content for you. Exploring all the scenes. Again, a lot of the scenes they don't suck, but they don't have a purpose in the current game, and we're reworking many of those. We've got several dozen scenes that have been called out as needing overhauls to be relevant. Are we about to have a constellation overlap up there? Is that what I'm seeing? I couldn't quite make that out. Now all I see is grass in my face. Look like there's a few things about to line up. Trying to remember, I should be paying attention when I actually designed the math behind our constellations and when those go. Because it's like early on in the project, and Richard would just give me design challenges of coming up with, he wanted, the 8 planets. And he wanted them to align roughly every 5 to 10 years of real time. But I think we're probably to the point where if they haven't lined up yet, they're probably getting pretty close. Galanteus, that is one that I am hoping Devil Cult is going to get to. And get to it probably indirectly by, we've just about got the features we need to write our own health bar, let players write their own health bar, and we can write the health bars in our own scripting system in Lua with the UI that has been exposed. I'm trying to think what the remaining features, we need a few things left, and Devil Cult probably jump in here if he's watching and scream at me. But that's absolutely the goal. Let's see. I showed Richard some Skybox Celestial body stuff in Unity GDC years ago, just before the shattered moon orbited in the correct direction. But yeah, for those who don't know, there's planets up here. These are actually tied to some mini-boss type guys in-game. And you can see the planets rotating and looking cool. What do you think? Will I survive if I jump? Yeah. Piece of cake. Anyways, I'm kind of to the point of blathering on. I am going to be trying to do some more streams just to cover some specific systems in the future. But right now I'm going to be focusing on PvP going forward. We got a lot of people in here. Do you guys have any PvP? I'm sure we have a lot of experienced players in here. Do you guys have any PvP features you want to make sure and call out that here's why you don't play PvP? Maybe I should do a Twitter thing for that. I don't PvP because... And also, maybe that's all. If you message me on Twitter, I can add you to the Discord group and the other chat stuff we're going to be using. I'm going to take a bite of my food now. I'm sorry. 2 bites. It's getting cold. It's a great feature that you don't have to PvP. That will remain the same. It is going to continue to be a great feature. There probably will continue to be a small amount of content that is hidden behind PvP. Meaning if you're just totally opposed to PvP and completely refuse to do it, you're going to miss out on a little bit of content. Like right now we've got, one of the cooler games and scenes in the game. It's called The Fall. It's a PvP only scene. It's not Taco Tuesday, it's Curry Tuesday. And there's a number of shard falls that are PvP focused. But you're really only missing PvP content. And some pretty scenes, there's some cool stuff in those scenes, so. Hey, zombie. Anybody? Still gonna do castle defense. I still want to do castle defense. That can be one of the things we talked about. That's, again, the things we're going to be talking about in our group are, one, and the most important one, is that we need is balance. We've got to get some things more balanced and figure out how to make PvP feel, so you don't have to be, I'm a shield of air archer and that's how you win. We've got to get it so people have choices. And I want to get it so it's not just that people have choices, but, the best choice if I'm playing in a scenario like this, in a scene like this, is different than what it may be if I'm playing in a dungeon. And that may be different than, if you're in a different heavy cover scene. So making sure that the PvP feels more balanced. That is absolutely number one most important thing. Really, that's the most important number two thing. Number one most important thing is get more people PvPing to make it fun. But before that can happen, we got to get that balance side of things. We got to get that really. So that is really going to be the big focus. But after we get that part much improved, why you're PvPing in terms of rewards and what stuff we can give you for PvPing, making sure that that's more compelling and adding more things for that to encourage PvPing. Where you're going to be doing PvPing, having scenarios like castle defense, castle sieges. some people brought up that there actually already is a Team Blue versus Team Red scene where you can go PvP right now. It's in Atos. You can just go into Atos. There's the arena down there actually assigns you to a team, and you can do that. So some of it's going to be just expanding on that. No PvP flag. Well, and then also the trees are coming down all around me again. But the no PvP flags. Well, that's getting another one we want to have is to make sure we have factions so that people can feel that they're part of something while PvPing. You know, random PvPing can be fun, but it's also not something that's really long-lived. Having a faction system, having something where you can feel like you're more part of a team. That may be one where we do, you know, we have Guild Wars in there right now. It's kind of a dusty system that probably needs a little bit of dusting off and cleaning up. But fishing and does not play a part in my PvP plans. I'm sorry, Mahool. But yeah, anyways, having that type of stuff that I just described, getting some balance in there, number one, getting people in there as well, which won't happen until we get the other parts, but then also having the reasons and the rewards and the factions so that you feel part of something. But anyways, that's on the plan, and that's going to happen. I think I'm going to set up the first meeting here right after this stream, and I'll make a post about that asking for you guys to chime in for your what I think PvP needs most is ... I'm sure it will be massively trolled. That's good. That's how I figure out who to block. Yeah, DAOC did Realm versus Realm. I actually played DAOC with the Realm versus Realm stuff, and actually my more memorable parts from that was in some of the raids where we actually had the Realm versus Realm raids. My goal or my role in one of those was to do nothing but stand at a castle wall and face away from combat. Yep, that was my role. And that was because it would help induce lag on the other team. Even though I was behind a wall and they couldn't hit me, it would add lag to the other guys. I didn't do that for too long. But yeah, that was back in the days before there's real hardware acceleration. Mm-hmm. And again, faction PvP, what it means, what faction PvP means, is still something to be discussed because it seems everybody has different ideas of what faction means. And again, as I said yesterday, the simplest faction may be, you know, Team Chaos versus Team Virtue versus Team Atos or whatever. Richard versus Star versus Chris. But I think I'd rather have some story-based faction stuff come in. And also make it more of an elective so you get to pick your faction. And Spinock, that's probably something that will come up that will be incentive. He says, in my opinion, the best PvP in MMO is EVE Online. The most profitable zones are PvP only. Some of the PvP zones are already some of the more profitable zones, and probably spicing those up a little bit more. Not as a let's just reward PvP, but PvPers, but to more accurately reflect the risk involved with those zones. You know, you look at it in like a tier 5 zone has, you know, gets a reward of a tier 5 zone. Well, tier 10 gets a reward of a tier 10 zone because it's got the creature risk in there. But when you're talking about PvP zone, like those have this extra built-in danger and risk in them that doesn't get reflected in the loot. So for some of those, that's actually one of the things that'll probably come up is having some more rewards added to scenes like the fall and to some of the shard falls. So just so you know. High tier player or tiers for solo players is what Owlsley says, and I didn't get to any of the AskADev questions. I'm horrible. Maybe I can do some more streaming tomorrow. But high tier players for solo players, that's actually what I didn't specifically call that out, but as I mentioned, we've got, I think I mentioned earlier, we have a couple dozen scenes that are tier 2 scenes. No one goes to them. I keep a chart of here's the 50 least visited scenes. Very few people go to tier 2 scenes and tier 3 scenes because there's no reason to. You so quickly outgrow them. And then also the other thing that's nuts about them is, you get done with the quest line, you're always in this kind of section of Novia. Is my hand visible? In this section of Novia. And we have tier 2 scenes on the complete opposite side of the map, or complete, on an island that, players aren't going to go to when they're tier 2. Hold on, Grumpy Dog is being grumpy. Needed to be covered up. But we're going to be taking some of those tier 2 scenes and tier 3 scenes, or some of our most beautiful scenes. And we're going to be taking those and turning them into scenes that'll be more like tier 10, but soloable type scenes with unique rewards. Let's see. Last time I played, I had my ass handed to me by things I should not have been able to deal, or things I should have been able to deal with. So yeah, solo is broken. Is that you, Richard? Richard, are you watching my stream? Just kidding. Yeah, so different playstyles, that's the other thing. Some playstyles are better. We don't really have a strict, here's your level. If you look at other games, that's one of the ways we're different. Again, this is aimed at people who don't know the game. But we're very different in that and this has some good things and some bad things about it. I wish we'd had something more a little closer to the other general type rules of MMOs, but it still offers some good benefits, which is we don't have you're level 50, you better be in this scene, and you better stay exactly on the line and do things and only pull one thing. We really have a more loose system in terms of if there's someone who's level 50 and they have built out their combat deck right, and they've leveled the right skills, then they're going to be much more effective than somebody who's level 50 and is playing in a different style. And again, that just means you probably need to, we do give you the estimation when you mouse over stuff. As that guy's yellow, he's going to be challenging. Hey, thank you, Z. I will pass that along too, because that's what Travis, I think, is going to work on this release. But yeah, so you may be level 80, but can really only handle level 50 scene just because you're building and you're playing how you want to play it. And that's totally fine. Totally fine. That some players will advance slower and be less capable. That is one of those things. If you are really concerned about it, then you can look at other types of builds and changing out your build and changing your playstyle a little bit. But if you're just playing for fun, then it doesn't matter as much. And yeah, what Cryptomancer said, there's some really simple stuff, and that's really what I meant to show in the stream today. And I think I need to start with like a character who's already passed all this part and kind of show some of the basic stuff. But honestly, I wasn't really trying to do that as much because guys, other streamers out there probably do so much better. And even though I designed and built, coded and set up data for most of the combat stuff that goes on, there's people out there who know how to use it much better than me. So yeah, but learning to play in a better way can just be a huge change in terms of your power. Strength of Earth and a little Air Archer is a good build, yeah. And again, that's figuring out the rolling decks. That's my new term, Lineman King. You like that? The rolling decks for rolling hybrid decks can be really big in terms of the power boost. It is, again, it can speed up how quickly you do things. Usually people are not bound by their focus, but they're bound by just the speed of casting. So, all right. Hey, I was actually looking at fish tanks in terms of Glantia, the fish tank stuff. Someone's mentioning fish tanks, and I was trying to think up stuff, but I was actually thinking like if we could just have a container, so it's like a chest or like, a jukebox in the game where you open it. Yes, for people who don't play the game, we have jukeboxes where you can open it up and put in wax cylinders and play different types of music. But having a jukebox type thing where it's a big fish tank, but you can open it up like a chest and you can put fish in it, and then the fish show up in the fish tank. How awesome would that be? It'd be a lot of work, but we already have a koi pound. I know, but you want to be able to catch fish and then put them in the fish tank. That would be awesome. That's coming from a fish guy. I'm sure like 3% of the world are fish people and probably would not be appreciated in the same way. Okay, guys, I've talked too long. I'm over 2 hours long here, and I've got some work to do still today. So, yeah, see how the tiger shark fits in there? I am going to stop and pick a winner. You guys want to make sure you're raffled up. Looks like we got 101 on stream, but we only got about 70 in the raffle. If you want to get in, if you're not a player, this would be a great opportunity. I'm giving away a town lot deed. This is one that you can't get for free in-game, except by playing the game and buying it from another player, and a house to go with it. I don't know what house yet. What do you think? What house should I give away? Oh, I'm going to do the castle. I'm going to give that thing away until it's popular. Stonekeep Townhome. Again, I like it. It's got a little courtyard in it. You can play in it. It's got enough room for decoing. It's awesome. All right, now we got some of those late comers in. All right, you guys ready? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I see some people still raffling. Spinock, you're the last one in. Here we go. You ready? And Vahi, run. Bam. Twilight Tempest. You are Twilight Tempest, Twilight Space Tempest in game, I am pretty darn sure. No, it would have been rigged if Marmbo had won for a third time in like 3 days. Or maybe 2 weeks. Mmm. Cold coconut curry, yum. Guys, again, long stream. Next time I'll try to stick to answering more questions and less making myself look like a noob. Maybe I'll try and tackle a single topic or something like that. Mostly I just want to get this stream out to make sure new players knew that, well, I'm not sure what I wanted to know. I guess I wanted them to know that I also think that our starting experience sucks, but that it's worth sticking out because there is an amazing game behind that. So hopefully you'll hang in there. Hey, and Simon, I hope your knee's doing well, buddy. Then the cloaks I put together will be in the next patch. I will say the cloak I put in is currently the watermelon cloak, and I was told that that cannot be. So I'm going to be putting in switching over to the fur-lined cloak at the demands of multiple other people on the team who said, yes, I know, I'm going to be fixing that VFX too. It's insane, isn't it? It's just way too much. Damon is actually going to be taking a pass on that. That was too much. That was I just had to formally apologize to Damon because that was something we turned on last release and we turned it off right at the last minute. This release, it was turned on for QA. And at the last minute, I was like, crap, we didn't get the VFX done for it again. And so I just left it turned on with the crappy VFX that were in there. And they're not crappy, they're amazing. But they're supposed to be amazing and spread out 10 times as big that they're used for the giant fight, or that one needs to be turned 10 times down smaller. So I'll be turning that one down 10 times smaller until Damon can get a VFX on it. Because it absolutely is seizure-inducing and frame rate crushing if you cast a bunch of them. Yes, and you can annoy your neighbors at night. But anyways, guys, again, thank you for joining me today. Again, not trying to rag on New World. I know it's got a lot of stuff, and I'm sure some people will stick. But the last numbers I saw was week over week over week over week. Currently, the player count had dropped enough. Again, I feel like those players need a place to go. Bring them here. Bring them to our game. Not trying to tell you to go in and break up families or whatever on New Run. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying there's a lot of people who left. and we have been unable to do as much advertising as normal because of them. So they pulled all those people into the MMO field and got them excited about something. If they didn't like New World, bring them over here. Likewise, we've had a lot of our players who went over there to try it. So, and again, I think New World is a cool game. It's just not the right game for a lot of people and got some issues to work out. Hopefully, Amazon will stick with it and give the team time to actually work out some of those issues, and some of those design stuff are things that need to happen. They do have an amazing new player experience, though. Of course, I compare everything to ours, so everything feels amazing compared to ours. But, guys, again, I will get those prizes out right away. Thank you for joining the stream. And I think that's probably it. Oh, I need to find someone to raid. Who wants to be raided? Let's see. Hold on. Oh, yep, that's me a few seconds ago. Let's see, we got Coswald in here, who is awesome. We got Cedric. Oh, we're absolutely, I'm going to go. Oh, stop that. Echo. I'm going to do something. I rated Cedric yesterday. Coswald, everybody's going to flock over there anyways because he's amazing and knows like 10 times as much as I do on stuff. But I see today we have Winfield Paxlair on. We will be giving Winfield a raid. You guys can go make him feel special. Winfield is an old Ultima Online player. You guys all know who Winfield is. But he is an amazing community member and community builder guy. And also, he fishes. So we're going to go give him a raid. Guys, thanks so much for being patient with me today. I'll try to get some more streams. I'll try and make a post on the PvP stuff and get people signed up, and we'll get that kicked off tomorrow. And again, my goal is to have daily QA builds, if not daily, then every other day, with at least some of the fixes in place that people wanted. So let's go raid Winfield, and thanks for tolerating me on the stream and my coconut curry, and I'll see you next time.
Oh my gosh, we're getting raided. What do I do?